Hello, everybody. It's our presentation on intercultural communication from the participant of Erasmus Plus training time. And now we start. So, intercultural communication. Imagine that you are in another country where people don't understand English. What will you do? We gathered some tips that we found around the internet about how to behave with people who don't speak English, what to tell them, what not to tell, how to make them understand you. Sorry if something doesn't fit with reality, it's just information we found on the internet. So, let's begin. First, what you can do if you're uh, if the guy with whom you're speaking don't understand English or understand it purely. You can explain it with gesture languages. You can point, for example, on the thing you want to talk about. This thing can be somewhere around you, or you can um, like show it with your fingers, with your hands, with your body movements. It's possible that your interlocutor will understand you. Also, another good um, like way to um, make your uh, make other people understand you is to translate the word into English in your phone. It's not very quick way, but it still can help and work. And not everywhere, of course, there is a Wi-Fi, so it's not for every case. But if there is no Wi-Fi and the guy doesn't understand you, you can write the word down, or if you have paper, of course, or you can draw the thing you want to say. Mm, it's the most good way. Also, you can, if you have Wi-Fi, once again, you can find the picture in the internet and show it. But sometimes people maybe don't understand your English, not because they don't know it, but just because they uh, can't understand your fast pace, and you uh, speak in this space in your own country, where people are more used to it, but in other countries try to speak slower, and people can get the words you're saying better. Also, as um, people in different countries treat foreigners differently, they wouldn't be very pleasant if you will show aggression to them. So I think it's better not to shout, and I think it's better to be as polite as possible so people don't feel um, any bad emotions and are relaxed and ready to help you. Also, in case if people know some English but are not fluent in it, you can use some simple words which everybody could study at school or just hear somewhere, uh, which like dog, cat, car, or just other simple objects. And people may understand you, if not all, but something. Oh, and of course, as an addition, don't use idioms or slang, because if people even don't understand the simplest language, they wouldn't understand idioms or slang moreover. In some of the countries, it is not very safe to talk to just people on streets because they may try to fool you, they want to take your money, or just they don't know English and can't help you. In this case, I think it's better to find some officials in your town, in a city where you are, because firstly, they can understand English, or at least find somebody who understands English, and Second, you may trust them more than just two people on street. And of course, maybe before going to other country which is far from your country or completely different from your country, it is better to uh, look in the internet what are the difference in this country from yours and what are specific traditions in other countries. We found some examples on the internet, and first is the widespread OK sign, which in Western culture everyone shows that everything is good, that everything okay. In Turkey, this sign is treated as offensive. So if you're in Turkey, don't use your fingers in such way, because I think it can be not very comprehensive what Turkey people. In Japan, it's better not to make eye contact, even though in the Western culture it is completely opposite. If you um, make an eye contact, it means that people can trust you. It means that you don't hide anything and you say the truth. But in Japan, people don't treat you in this way. So better to look somewhere else, to right, left, I don't know, down, up, but not into their eyes. Also, unlike in our picture in Bulgaria, but it's like if you say yes, people will understand that you say no by your head language. So if you want to say yes, you should turn your hand to the sides. If you want to say no, you should turn your head up and down. It's just opposite to Western gestures of yes and no. And in most of Western cultures, and I think not only, it's better not to ask many questions about money. If you can ask people how they earn money, but better not to ask how much they earn. At least not from the beginning, maybe later when you will know this person better. Also, such thing as leaving tips in restaurants, which will be treated as very good thing in United States or in Europe, is um, not very pleasant thing for Japanese uh, restaurant workers, because they um, think of it, they perceive it as abusive thing if you leave tips to them. But if you are in the USA, you should leave your tips, because people at restaurants, waiters, and other staff, they don't receive enough of money just as their salary, and biggest share of their income is from tips that customers leave them. So it is almost obligatory to leave some tips when you go out of American restaurants after dinner, lunch, breakfast, and so on. And as I am from Ukraine, I want to say one thing which is in our country now, is that mm, we want to show that Ukraine is not a part of Russia, that we are different, and even though in the past Union, we don't want to be there anymore. And please, if you come to Ukraine, um, don't mention many Russian traditions, Russian food, Russian people, because we have our own traditions, own food, own famous people, and our own language. And of course, it will be pretty pleasant if you just know that our countries are different countries. In India, you shouldn't touch the opposite sex in public. I don't know what will be if you will touch, but it's better not to touch. And also India and Nepal. Um, when you meet somebody, don't shake hands to that people because don't they have different culture. In the Western countries, you can shake hand and hug people, but in India, you should better just press your palms together and make like prayer move. In Greece, when you wave at people, it can be treated as very offensive sign, as index finger in Western culture, as a sign of five straightened fingers, and your palm is treated as fuck you. So when you wave to somebody in Greece, uh, you should be pretty accurate. And in Singapore, you shouldn't leave your you shouldn't sit on the table where somebody left his tissue because it's a sign of reservation. They don't have maybe just usual reservation sign, just they leave tissues. And in Brazil, as like in Turkey, as a positive sign in Western cultures is a negative in Brazilian culture. And some bab is very offensive. To say about the pictures we used in our presentation, Poland ball, which is also known as country ball, refers to user-generated visual art, typically manifested as online comics, where countries are personified as spherical personas decorated with their country flag, interacting in often broken English. The characters poke fun at national stereotypes and international relations, as well as historical conflicts. It is an internet meme which originated on the int board of German image board crowdchan.net in the latter half of 2009.
Hello to everyone. I am Simone, and I will talk about the communication, intercultural communication. If I talk with other people of different countries and they don't know their language, there is two ways: gestures and a draw. Gestures are, are um, it's um, it's it's complicated to be clear, communicate with the gestures. Then we can use the surrounding environment. Indicate a place, indicate a person, indicate a thing, or indicate yourself for communicate information without speak. For example, I indicate my chest for explain that I want. And next, I move my fingers for explain that I want move. And now indicate a restaurant and joining the tips of the fingers of the hands. Um, I take the hand, close the mouth, and I move the hand forward and back for communicate that I want it. The Italians use the gestures for communicate a short message. Um, the most common is the gestures of the what do you need. Joining the tips of the fingers and shaking the hand, the Italians communicate this message. This message, but seems like the expression "I want it," but it's not. It's not that. Another way to explain yourself without to know the language of other people of other country is the draw. This is most clear than the gestures. The second, with the draw, we can explain yourself more clear than with the speak and teach language. Teach language. What is it saying? What is it saying? This picture. There is food on the table and a clock that that indicates that the time is 12 and 15. And there is the sun that gets you understand that are the 12 and 15 of the morning. Then this picture is saying that you have a lunch at the 12 and 50 of the morning. Through the draw we can communicate to encode. For an example, draw an house. Everybody sees this picture like only a house. But I want to communicate that a specific person. I want to communicate that he have to come back to home at home. Another example: the picture of a room with all black wall, and the window with and the outside is morning, and for this there is very many much lights that come from the window. This picture can be seen by everybody like a simple room, but it's not. I want to communicate that that if you are in a bad moment, when you feel lost, and you feel like a cold, infinite cold in your heart, you can find the right way another time, but you will be not influenced by this cold, this situation. Um, if As I said before, with the draw we can teach a language. With the eyes, we understand a situation, we understand what is happening and how a person is feeling and where we are. Drawing environment, a person that is doing something and a thing. We can explain in a clear way everything, and the communication through the draw can be better. Can be better than speaking. The picture of a person with the hand up is communicating greeting. Writing the greeting with the greeting word of our language close to this picture, we will show in a clear way how do greeting with our language. Obviously, we will pronounce it too for show or pronounce it correct. After showing our fundamental words to communicate in our country, prepare an exercise. Draw for picture. Each of these will be different, and one of these will be the picture that communicated the word that we want to teach, and then the learner have to choose the correct picture. And it's the picture that communicate the word that we want to teach. Example: this picture show a man that is communicating greeting, and close to him there is a ciao. Ciao is a greeting, Italian greeting. Then, which picture is communicating ciao? The A, B, C, D. Obviously, it's the D. It's a only exercise for explain you how learn language with language with the draw. It is this instead is a Smit Creator project, and Smit Creator project uh, connected with Erasmus Plus. Thanks all for seeing my live, our live.
Okay, and thank you very much for joining our webinar. Thank you, and wish you all the best. Goodbye.